World building, a very important aspect for meticulously crafting a story. A wise man once said, no one in particular, that a universe is only as good as its world building. This is the reason why certain stories, such as Star Wars, that are so disconnected from our present, is still so intriguing and memorable. The world that fascinates us, makes our imagination run wild, and helps us ease into a world not so different from ours, yet simultaneously jarringly different. Thus, as I have been working on my own graphic novel passion project for a while, it is time to delve into its world and lore. Good morning, stars. It's your boy Lavatarrant, and welcome to the world of Project IXC. The goal of Project IXC was to evoke a certain neo-mystical sensation. The best way to describe it would be to imagine, let's say, for example, the play Macbeth if it were set and released today. I'm sure the term modern epic would be thrown around a lot. Basically, this project, while focusing on a small cast, is meant to have a larger-than-life theogony, which evidently is why literal gods come into play within the story. However, it is hard to explain in detail the entirety of it, as a lot of it has a non-linearity that would cause me just telling it to you normally to spoil a lot of the major plot points. So, for this video, I will keep a distance from the characters inhabiting the world and instead focus on the world itself, starting of course with its creation. As a fan of mythology, which should be evident by now, I wanted to tie in similar aspects into IXC's creation myth, for lack of a better term. Most myths will suggest a pre-existence, a dimension pre-existing our world, which in IXC takes the shape of yarn space, a space inhabited by gods of destruction known as the Incursions. The Incursions sort of act as these greater Lovecraftian villains, almost always pulling strings, yet never showing up in the flesh. They have only one goal: destroy. Their target? The Anomaly. The Anomaly itself was made by two beings, Infinity and Chaos, reflecting Muspelheim and Niflheim a bit. Imagine it as a Venn diagram, if you will. The intersection is where we are. However, we aren't quite here yet. Heck, even most stars aren't here yet. That comes in thanks to Ymir, whom you would recognize from the last video. Ymir is one of the many Titans, beings made by the Infinity and Chaos to defend the Anomaly. The other notable Titans are Surtur, Morgan, and Kronos, the last of which gave the Anomaly time and gave the time the shape of a winding yarn. Get it? Yarn space. Ymir soon followed, using Surtur's cosmic fire to forge life across the universe, and Morgan, the youngest, enlightened it all, giving the formless shape. And thus, our universe as we know it was born. Now, as I mentioned, I will not go into individual character descriptions, instead I'll save that for another time. Instead, let's look at the world now, shall we? Or, I should say, worlds. If you have seen the mysterious acro logs that showed up on my channel out of nowhere, you may be a bit aware of what's coming up. But, for the sake of the video, let's start from the top. The universe of Project IXC is mainly comprised of two major galaxies, the Hera Galaxy and the Andromeda Galaxy. The Hera Galaxy, which is our Milky Way for those who haven't watched episode 1, is where the majority of the story will occur. In this galaxy, there exist 4 total species that are sentient. So, let's go in chronological order, starting with the Centurions, a mysterious alien species hailing from Delta Proxima. These aliens were very advanced and predate humanity by a few millennia. Yet now, in modern times, or at least when our story occurs, few signs remain of them, as their hubris caused their extinction. The home planet destroyed, subplanets, also known as colonized planets, now abandoned, and space stations deactivated. All except one. Termed the OB-5 station by humans, it houses perhaps the last Centurion in cryostasis, and decrypting the technology has led scientists to believe this to be King Ouroboros, the tyrant overlord of the Centurions. This species is meant to be a bit of an adaptation of the Übermensch concept propounded and coined by philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. While he describes it as the ideal future human, in IXC it is a not-so-ideal past, reflecting humanity's progression to technological advancements, leading ultimately to a self-annihilation, hence the cautionary nature. Anyway, simultaneously during the intergalactic Centurion reign arose a second species by the name of the Ljosalfar. As the name suggests, the species takes inspiration from the mystical elven race present in various works, mythological and fictional. They hail from the home planet of Alfheim, in the Yggdrasil system that is particularly curious, as the star it circles is the only green star in the Hera Galaxy, a strange star with a core made of the strange substance Imerium. The species itself, of course, spread across the galaxy into various planets, notably Prithvi, the planet where a big part of the story takes place. These aliens also encountered ancient humans. Yes, I'm pulling in ancient aliens, as these guys became in some places the basis of depicting gods, while in others they became the gods, as is the case for the Book of Invasions, a book about all of Ireland's invasions which details the Tuatha De Danann, which in IXC was an ancient royal squadron of the Ljosalfar sent to monitor Earth, also known as Gaia. The Ljosalfar themselves act as a counterpart to another species which we will get to, where they represent an alien race which is very religiously based. Think the Covenant or even the Fremen. They have a strong connection to the true mythos of the world, where unlike humanity, they all worship a single pantheon, one comprised of the currently active new gods like Ambrose, Thruma, Forge, Grimm, and so on. This brings us to humanity, which evolved very late into the party. I suppose not much to describe here, except of course the bright future of ours in this universe. Humanity kickstarts its intergalactic evolution thanks to the discovery of Imerium, which, while being extremely volatile, is also a great fuel source, as very little amounts can charge up ship batteries to last many hundreds of years. This sudden technological advancement, however, caught the eyes of the Ljosalfar, who revealed themselves to the humans and signed the Contact Pact on Year Zero, adopting the Epsilon calendar, counting in PRC, that is pre-contact, and POC, that is post-contact. Thanks to the Contact Pact, various sectors were opened for human exploration, resulting in various interplanetary colonies like Prithvi, Alpha Cyprus, and even inter-system colonies like the Ra system and the Helios system. However, the Pact also banned the travels to specific species' home planets, so humans could not visit the Yggdrasil system, the remains of Delta Proxima, nor could they go to the rogue planet Polaris, home of the Elgeems, the final major Hera alien species. The Elgeems take inspiration from the LGM, that is, Little Grey Men, or was it green? Basically the simplest form of an alien. They are the counterpart aliens I mentioned to the Ljosalfar, where they represent a detachment from the true mythos. Gods are not a thing there. The Elgeems are warforged aliens who are heavily advanced and simply do not have a belief system in reference to a god or multiple such gods. These aliens are master blacksmiths, however, and are known for their exoskeleton mechs they use in almost all things. They conflict with humans often. due to their persistence of not having shared existence with humans on any planet. Which is probably because whenever we encounter them, we just take them to Area 51 and do research on them. Anyway, beyond Hera, of course, is Andromeda, which is far more interesting and simply not plot relevant enough, though certain key factors are important. That was a general rundown of the world's inhabitants, although we aren't quite done yet, because other than the aliens themselves, certain other factions are also quite important. One such faction you have already seen, in the form of ACRO, or Anomaly Containment and Research Operative, the SCP-like group I talked about in Episode 1. The operative itself is led by one Jeremiah Stanford, who himself is the descendant of one PC Stanford, the original founder of ACRO. However, ACRO isn't the only faction dealing with anomalies. Two much more militaristic anomaly containment operatives are Crossguard and Harbinger. Crossguard is the British counterpart to the much more Americanized ACRO, though neither are situated solely on Earth anymore, while Harbinger is a rogue Ljosalfar and Elgeems coalition operative who are in neutral terms with humanity and are a bit more PMC-like. Lastly, there is the Cypress, a very important faction from where one of the major characters, Zeta, originates from. The Cypress are a crime syndicate, who pretty much run an entire planet known as Alpha Cyprus. They have various ranks named after the various Greek alphabets, with Alpha and Beta being the leaders and Zeta being the highest class agent of the syndicate, being the most skilled and destined to inherit the next Alpha title. That's right, plot twist of the day, our Zeta isn't the only Zeta, he's in fact the 12th Zeta, or I guess he was. The Cypress have far-reaching control and good relations with ACRO too, thus having a major impact on the story to unfold. But that will have to wait for another time. Hope you all enjoyed this entry into the IXC mythos and world. If you did, like and subscribe, means a lot, and also watch episode 1 if you haven't yet, along with the mysterious ACRO tapes. With that said, I'll catch you in the next one, and until then, remember, we are not alone.